Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Sugar Dot 413. Let's vibe and subscribe. And today, what I want to do is I want to show you a little hobby that I have, and it's making soaps. So what I'm going to do today is a quick melt and pour soap because my husband and I love turmeric soap. So I make my own. I don't buy them at the store. You can make your own or you could buy them at the store. But for me, it really helps keep our complexion pretty clear. Now, it's not going to do anything for fine lines and wrinkles, but it will clean your skin really good. And we really don't have any breakouts, which at our age we probably wouldn't anyway, but it is people who's retired also who have problems with breakouts. So what I'm going to do is I have a melt and pour base that I get from a really good soap supplier. You could buy it at your craft stores. You know, if you have craft stores in your city, they have a lot of soap bases. But in my opinion, for myself, because sometimes I sell these soaps, I like a better quality. I want a good ingredient. I want to make sure that it has a good lather and all the integrity. So I'd rather go to somebody that's their specialty, is that they make soap bases. So that's just my personal opinion. You can do whatever you want. So first you have to cut them up into small chunks. Now the thing is, I have an electric soap melter that you can use for making candles or making soaps. So I don't really have to cut mine so small, but for people who are still using the microwave, you would want to cut them small because you want them to melt very evenly and melt at the same time, almost like when you're cooking, right? So mine, like I said, they don't have to be cut that small, but they do have to be cut up before I put them in the machine, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So I cut them. And how's everybody's day doing? Happy Tuesday. I'm multitasking this morning. I just cleaned out the bathroom, the bathtub, the toilet, sinks, all of that stuff. And I'm doing one load of laundry. I'm going to make these soaps. Then I'm going to go upstairs. I had some chicken that I cleaned and seasoned. Was it yesterday or the day? Yesterday morning. So the chicken has been sitting in the seasoning in the refrigerator since yesterday, so it's going to be really good. And these are drumsticks. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not really a fan of drumsticks. I'm recently getting into them because I'm a wings girl or a thighs girl. But the drumsticks are good enough, so I'm going to use them. All right, so in the meantime, what I'm doing is I have some alcohol and I'm spraying. These are a mold that's special made for my soaps that I sell. And I'm going to spray them with alcohol just to kind of re-sterilize them. And also the alcohol will make them have a nice shiny finish when they have hardened the way I like. And I'm going to use turmeric. This is just dry, run-of-the-mill, but it is organic turmeric that I put in the soap. And that's the key ingredient because that's what gives this complexion such a nice glow. Now, it's not just about what soap you use. You have to be taking care of yourself from inside out, right? You have to be drinking enough water, trying to eat enough fruits and vegetables. Skincare goes deep. It's not just what we put on our skin. It's what we put in our body. Because remember, your skin is your largest organ. So if it's not being treated like you think it should, you might suffer from more outbreaks and more blemishes and so forth on your skin. Now, I'm not a perfect eater. I'm just like everybody else. I'm just trying to stay above board. But I try to limit my sweets a little, and I try to eat a lot of vegetables. I eat salads like at least twice a day. I try to have a salad with my lunch and a salad with my dinner. And sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's simple. It's just like the lettuce. I might throw a couple cucumbers. Maybe sometimes I put olives. Sometimes I don't put cucumbers. Sometimes I put tomatoes. You know, I just, I divvy it up. But I try to get it in there at least twice a day. So I'm not saying that I have the best skin, but trust me, I have tried all the name brand skincare lines. I've tried them all. They all work well, but this is a cheaper option and I enjoy making the soaps, and I enjoy the end result. So now what I do with my turmeric, from my personal opinion, I take the turmeric powder and I add some alcohol, because that's going to help it turn liquidy, and the alcohol will evaporate out, and it will incorporate really good when I get this soap melted. So I'm going to walk you over to my soap melting machine, which is something I just bought a couple months back before the Christmas holidays, because during the Christmas season I get a lot of soap orders. So that's really kind of a busy time for me. So let's see. This is it. Basic. Not that much. Got it on Amazon. Works really well. It starts at 0 and it goes to high. I always put it right in the middle. And for this size soaps, it probably can have them all melted up in about 3 to 4 minutes. So basically, as you can see, I pour it in. That's what it looks like when it's in the container. I turn it on, and then I put the lid on it. Now, do you have to put the lid on it? I don't know if you have to put the lid on it, but that's just me. I put the lid on because I think that it just helps it seal and melt better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk back over and get something to stir it up. Because once it starts melting, so it doesn't stick all over the place, you need to stir it. So I use something like this. Keep it simple. And, I left some soap in the cup here. Oh, there we go. Add that. There it is. Okay. So I am blessed that my house has a basement. I know a lot of houses don't have basements. And the basement is where we would come to entertain. We have like a little seating area where people could come. We have a big table that can seat 8 people, and we have another table that can seat about 2 or 3 more. So and we have other tables that we can put up, but for the most part during the year, we keep it set up so we can entertain and probably seat at least 12 people comfortably down here to eat. So I'm blessed. But in saying that, we have an extra additional sink down here, and this is where I put my pot to milk my soaps, and I can clean up all my soap supplies. I don't have to bring those upstairs. I do it all down here. Now I'm just going to give that some time because I want to show you some other things that's really helpful and useful if you're making soaps. This is like a thermometer, and this will measure the temperature of your soaps, because you want to pour them at a certain temperature. I don't want them to be too hot that they melt or warp my mold. So I want to always be conscious of the temperature. And I've been doing it long enough so I can kind of tell. But I usually myself pour when it's around 128 to 132, because I know that my molds can handle that. So you might have to test your molds to see what level of heat that you can withstand without melting your mold. I always keep alcohol, because you can use the alcohol, like I said, to mix in any dry powders for color or any additives that you use. And it's always good to have like a handy dandy scale where you can measure how much soap you want to make. Like I know that these molds, when I melted, probably is going to make about 3 to 4 smaller soaps, and which is fine because my husband and I, we just use it on our face. I'll make like 2 or 3. They last a while, but I do wash my face twice a day. So in the morning and in the evening I use the turmeric soap, and I double wash. So I wash, I rinse, and I wash, and I rinse, and then I put on a serum and all of this other mess. But yeah, so as far as the soap making, those are the most critical tools that I use. I also have like a little cutting board straight from the dollar store, and then a cutter that you can get from any food supply store, any bakery, any craft or hobby shop. You can get one of these. It just makes it easy to cut your soap. And sometimes when I make soap in a loaf, it makes a really pretty cut on the end because it's crinkled instead of a straight cut. So I'm just going to walk back over, get some exercise here, and I'm going to check. And I can look and see that the soap is melting but it's nothing worth stirring or anything. But the total process probably takes about maybe 3 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. I never really sat and timed it, but you'll know. Just keep an eye on it because you don't want it to stick and you don't want your soap to get too hot and you don't want your soap to burn, right? So I kind of like stand around, and another handy dandy tool is cups like this because they make it very easy to pour into your mold when you're after you've melted your soaps. So I probably own about, I don't know, 8 to 10 of these because when I have big orders and I just need to move fast. Now, the thing is, I only have one melting pot because I use it basically when I have small orders or if I'm just doing soap for the house. Now, I am wearing gloves. I don't have to because these are house soaps, but I just want to show you that you should try to keep everything uniform, consistent, and as clean as you can. Keep your area that you're making your soaps very clean. I wear gloves, especially when I'm making them for sale, and I always have it. I don't have one now because, like I said, these are for the house. I usually keep my hair bonnet on just for sanitary reasons. I've never seen any hair in my soaps, but stranger things have happened. That would be the worst. You give a customer an order and it's particles of whatever in there. All right, so I'm going to put this down so you can still see me. And I'm going to start to stir it because I think it's melted enough that. So this pot I got on Amazon, and I'm going to say it probably was about, I don't even know. I think it was under $25. I don't know, maybe $19.99. But remember, I bought it during the Christmas season, so think prices were a lot different around the holidays. But if you are a soap maker who plans to do this for a business and you're going to be making a lot of very large bars, if you're going to take this option, I would say you probably should get like 2 or 3 of these because you can melt different batches. Like this could be for turmeric. You can melt one that's lavender. You can melt one that's what's another good seller? Oh, our biggest seller is lemongrass. So you can melt them all at the same time, pour them all around the same time so that they cure around the same time. But most of my orders, I can get away with using this. And if I had more to make, I would just use the microwave right now. Now the soap blend that I'm using is a coffee. So I'm not going to put any scent or any color or anything in there. Turmeric will turn your soap, of course, brown. And be careful when you mess with the powder. Some say that it can stain your clothes. I usually wear stuff like this when I'm making soap, so I don't care if it stains. This is something that don't leave the house. This is my house dress, so it doesn't really matter as much what I'm wearing. But yeah, I just wanted to give some soap tips for those who are new and who are interested in starting a soap business. Another good thing about this melting pot that I have is it has a spout on there. Some of them don't. So this one does. So I don't really necessarily have to pour it back in the cup with the spout. I can theoretically just walk it over and pour it right in the mold. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do today, but let's go get the turmeric and bring the turmeric over here. So when the soap is melted enough, we'll just pour some little turmeric in there. And you can use as much or as little of the turmeric as you please. It just depends on how much soap. I know that this is going to make like 3 or 4 small bars. So to me, this is enough turmeric. But you might be making a batch that's larger, so you might need a lot more. Actually, I probably could put more turmeric in there, but a little goes a long way. Now, it's said, too, if you eat turmeric and you use it on your skin, it's like a twofold. So just something to keep in mind when you're out at the grocery store. You can buy turmeric. It's like a little brown thing. It's probably about this big. They usually come in a pack of like 10 or more because they're so small, and you can cut them up. You can use them to flavor your food and stuff like that. So this turmeric, I don't really cook with it that much, but sometimes I'm making chicken and I just want to give it a brown color and just add a little something different to it, and I will put some turmeric powder, but mainly I use this for my skin. I also make a shower gel, but I haven't really put turmeric in it. So just checking the time to see, because I usually don't film in app. I usually do it on my camera, so this is something really different for me. Actually, you can smell a little bit the coffee. So it says coffee flavor, but it really smells like cocoa, caramel. So it'll be a nice, refreshing smell to have on our face. So I can see, let's see if I can show you guys and girls. This is what it's looking like. Hope I'm capturing it. So you see how it's melting really good. Nice consistency. So when I get like the last chunk of it melted, then I just pour in my turmeric, or if I'm putting in a lemongrass or anything. But I just try to keep things around the face as unscented as possible. Because even though this is a caramel scent, it's really faint. So. Hey, babe. Babe, I'm doing a soap video. You want to be in it? No. Well, that's my #1 customer, because my husband, since the winter, has been complaining about a ruddiness on his face. And I had like a tiny little bar. Are you going to pay me? He wants to get paid. Yeah. I'll pay you when YouTube pays me. I don't work for free. Yeah. You hear that? Yeah, you do. But he had like a ruddiness on his face, and he was the one that said he wanted to try the turmeric soap. So I had like some small sample bars, and I gave him one, and within 3 days he saw a real difference on his face. And he's right. So he's been using the turmeric soap, and he got a different kind of moisturizing lotion. Now, individual results will vary. So I'm telling you that because not everybody has the same results using the turmeric soap as we do. Now, soaping is something that's relaxing. It's kind of a fun hobby. You can make a couple dollars if you want to. Or you can make the bars and give them out free. All right, so this soap is pretty much melted the way that I want. Remember, the pot is still warm, so it's still melting while I walk it to the mold. Put the camera back here. I'm going to try again, show you what I'm working with here. That's what it would look like. Okay, so what I want to do is, I left my spoon. Hold on 1 second. Just want to make sure that it's mixed up really well. We'll make sure that turmeric gets through all of it. And I have my handy dandy thermometer. Just going to measure the temperature because you never know. All right, so per my thermometer, it's pretty warm. It's like 140, which is kind of, I don't want it that warm going into my mold. It's up to you, because everybody has their own style when they make it. Some people will pour just like that because they know, like this mold is really flexible. It's very thick. It can probably withstand, but I'm just so used to doing it when it's closer to like maybe 135 and under. So I'll talk to you about the weather. Today here in New England, we're supposed to be getting nice temperatures. Right now, I understand it's in the 20s or 30s, but this afternoon, it's going to be as high as 62. Very excited because we get to go out today and we get to have lunch with some veteran friends at one of the local veteran spaces here in our area. And it's fun. We've made some friends on that one. We go to 3 different veteran groups. So the one we're going to today are mainly older vets, older than me. Probably 70% of them. And then it's probably 30% that's around my age and so forth. And then the one we go to tomorrow is more people, more veterans around my age. It's still like 40% like veterans who served in Vietnam and different war type eras, but it's like at least 60, I would say 65% are people in my age range. So we have so much fun. We find out what's going on. We find out what other veteran opportunities, what kind of discounts we can get, because there are always stores and restaurants are always passing new directives and stuff like that where they want to be able to offer stuff to the veterans. So we find all of that out. For people that's looking for jobs, they have job information. They have heating and fuel assistance programs that they offer the veterans, and you'll get information there. Information on different medical, durable medical equipment and stuff that's offered to veterans. Like one place was there one day, they talked about hearing aids or special glasses, just different things that people in the community want to offer. They'll usually go. So I'm just going to, see me, I'm going to start pouring just because I think it's cool enough. So these are going to it's going to make more than I thought. Ooh. I can pour these kind of big. So these puppies will probably be some I might bring. I have a Women's Day event. I'm going to be doing a little soaping. So I might be able to have a couple bars to take over there. So this is what it looks like. If you can see. Oh, no. There. But if you see, you'll notice they have some air bubbles. All I would do is take this alcohol and spray on top. Boom, boom. Wherever I see little bubbles, because I don't want the soaps to have bubbles when they are formed. But sometimes they do, and that's okay, because that just let people know that these are handmade, hand poured. They're not manufactured in a warehouse or by machinery, which in that case is usually going to be picture perfect. So they have a little bit of imperfections in them, and I am fine with that because I'm making these by myself, and sometimes I'm pouring 85, 90 soap bars, so good. All right, I'm just going to double spray. Any other additional? And now it's just the waiting game. And of course, I'm not going to make you wait. But these soaps here probably can be hardened within 3 to 4 hours. I usually do overnight, so I'll probably wait and take these out the mold sometime tomorrow. So what I do is I let them get a skin, because after they have, before they harden, they get a skin on them. So that means that this is how they're going to mold. Like now they're soft. I could play around if I wanted to drop flowers or if I wanted to drop anything in any decorative things. I can do it now while they're still soft. But once they get hard, you can't mess with them. And once they get a skin on them, you can still mess with them if you poke through the skin. But once the skin is on, then I come back with some, I have that saran wrap that I put on top, because I am in the basement and I don't want any of the elements to get on or mess with my soaps. I'll cover them and I'll let them stay for a couple hours. Like I said, this poured up more than I thought, so I probably will be able to take some of these to the Women's Day and sell with my other soaps. And I got my husband and I 2 bars. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe and the like, because my channel is very diverse. We talk about all kind of things. We talk about medical things. We talk about hobbies. We talk about the day in the life of a retiree. We do shorts, funny. So please help this channel along. I appreciate y'all. Bye.